So,
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine arriving.
Cet immense acteur anglais.
Outstanding British actor.
À Cannes, en compétition
Michael Caine,
officielle.
in the official competition in Cannes. He'll be supported by Harvey KEITEL. They play two friends. Michael Caine is a composer and director who refuses to perform, and he says he is retired, but Harvey KEITEL wants to keep on writing a final film, and Fonda is here. So Michael Caine with the photographers of the international press. Great pleasure to welcome Michael Caine here to Cannes. With an amazing career, impossible to summarize in just a few phrases. In Cannes, he was here, of course, in 1986 out of competition with Hannah and her sisters. He won the Oscar for Best Supporting Role in 2000 in Decided House Rules. And everybody, Paolo Sorrentino is there, the director of the film. So it's a real A-list cast here. Fonda, Rachel Weisz. After the Lobster from Yorgos Lanthimos. There is Madalina GHENEA, plays a wonderful Miss Universe here, or Miss World. Paul DANO, one of most promising young actors, an incredible career in independent film, particularly. Remember him in Paul Thomas Anderson's There Will Be Blood. Fonda there. An icon of world cinema. And the beauty of Fonda, which is she's resplendent here in Cannes. Fonda, who's filmed with some of the greatest American and European actors. René Clément in Les Félins, Otto Preminger, Joseph Losey's Doll's House. I mean, there are so many. Recently, in Lee Daniels' Butler. Another legend of cinema, Harvey KEITEL there, who started, remember, with Scorsese. It's a bit surprising because when I look at the filmography that I've got here, it's just hundreds of films and names of directors, all, you know, each one more talented than the next, you know. He was here with Taxi Driver, now Michael Caine, alongside Rachel Weisz. He came back, The Duelists with Ridley Scott. Bad Lieutenant, Abel Ferrara's film. Came with Quentin Tarantino, of course. Reservoir Dogs, Harvey KEITEL back in '92. So Paul DANO there next to Fonda. Films like There Will Be Blood, but as well Little Miss Sunshine. Prisoners by Denis Villeneuve, which is in competition. He's in competition this year. So the two friends in the film. So Michael Caine is a conductor and composer. He's in retirement. He doesn't want to compose. He doesn't want to direct. And there's an emissary from the Queen of England who comes along and says that you'll get a knighthood and all this, but he refuses. I won't say why. Anyway, they're in this this sort of big hotel, but at the same time it's a sort of a sanatorium in Switzerland. Harvey Keitel is still working. He asks young scenarists, a young scriptwriter to come along, and he's looking for the last line of the scripts he's just written. So Harvey Keitel, who was, I remember, in Lyon, a film in Bertrand Tavernier. Bertrand Tavernier was in tears. This sort of mutual tribute to the Lumière Festival, a massive moment of emotion. There's Rachel Weisz, beautiful and talented Rachel Weisz, who's got 2 films in competition, The Lobster and Youth, from Paolo Sorrentino, to European directors for this English actress who has made choices that switch between blockbusters, things like Bourne, Conspiracy, or The Great and Wonderful Oz. Oz the Great and Powerful, and then at the same time doing art house films like The Lobster and Youth. She's worked with Jim Sheridan from the Middle-East. Peter Jackson, of course, her role in Lovely Bones. She came to Caine with Agora. So lots of different styles for the actors here today. Here today in Caine. And there's the recent history, of course, which has an impact. And as well, you know, films of the 1960s and 70s, the golden age of American cinema, represented by actors such as Jane Fonda and Harvey Keitel. So Jane Fonda, of course, daughter of actor Henry Fonda and Frances Ford Seymour, second wife. Of course, they played in Mark Riddle's On Golden Pond, 1981. She was in Klute, and André Paqueleuse back in 71, Klute. The Oscar she got in 72 for Best Actress. She got a Golden Globe as well for this role. She's been to Cannes many times with a wonderful film back in 1970. They shoot horses, don't they? Arthur Preminger's Doll's House. In competition with Coming Home and China Syndrome. And there's Michael Caine on these pictures on screen there. And you know, going from one filmography to another while Michael Caine takes his glasses off. He chose his name because of the Caine Mutiny. He comes from a very poor family in the UK, but he has kept this very powerful form of acting, and the distance as well. The distance that he has. He got Best Supporting Actor for for Hannah and Her Sisters, and as well for The Cider House Rules. Lance Armstrong was back in 2000, and in Cannes he came for Alfie, Lewis Gilbert, a role which was taken up afterwards. It was Harvey Keitel. So going from one to another. The faces, these big faces, that strike us as film lovers. and our memory of film. Our memory of film as a whole. So I shall leave you with Harvey KEITEL there. Now Paul DANO. Paul DANO. I talked about Denis Villeneuve's Prisoners. He was in 12 Years a Slave by Steve McQueen. He was in Looper, very talented actor. Cowboys and Aliens. So again, he alternates blockbusters and art house. Paul DANO. And he's still very young. He was born in 1979, the 19th of June. He'll only be 31. He's from New York. He's already had a massive career behind him. And major films. So Paolo Sorrentino. So he's here in Cannes, in competition for each of his films. He's one of the most talented filmmakers in the world. One of the three spearheads of Italian film present in Cannes, with Matteo Garrone and Nanni Moretti. Nanni Moretti saying, yeah, be careful, because there's nothing particularly important happening in Italian cinema, but it's just, there's an individuality there, and here's one with radically different cinema and a certain melancholy that you can see in Moretti's film and in Paolo Sorrentino's film. So beautiful actress Madalina, GHENEA, a Romanian actress who plays Miss Universe and plays it very well in this film. But one, a Miss Universe who talks very honestly. He's got a bit of a sharp tongue. So now we're going to see the trailer of this film. We can leave Magdalena and move on to the interview. So the trailer.